All right, now Tom Odege, the Member of Parliament for Nyatike, within which Migingo Island lies, now joins me live from our city centre studio. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us this morning. First of all, I'd like to hear your reaction to what the Inspector General of Police had to say yesterday, saying that Kenya will not protect anybody who's violating Uganda's territorial integrity. What do you make of this?
Thank you, Betty. Sometimes I find it very difficult trying to understand public utterances of our Inspector General. In fact, I don't know, like yesterday, he came out very clearly and said he still don't have the facts about what happened and even about the arrest. But at the same time, he's telling Kenyans that he's not going to protect people who have done wrong, which means he was aware of some wrongdoing. Yeah, we expect Inspector General to protect our boundaries, to protect Kenyan citizens. Like last week, 41 Ugandans, allegedly fishermen, landed in the beach of my constituency.
Right.
And he said nothing about it. We had to negotiate with these people to go back to their country. And there was no arrest. So when our people, like when you go to Lake Victoria inside the lake, there is no clear boundary where you can say this is the end of Kenyan waters and this is the other side. There are some minor trespasses, and we expect the government, because when they tried to mark the boundary, they failed to do so. And as we are talking now, the Ugandans are in Kenya, nobody's arresting them. But Kenyans, when they go into the water, they're arrested. We start saying we don't want to protect people who have violated the law. And if he was very clear and said he was not having facts about the arrest of the 22,
right?
Why was he quick to say he's not protecting people who have done the wrong?
Interesting remarks then. You know, the police have come out to say that they're still investigating, so let's wait for these investigations to come to an end. But also, I mean, you have been able, it's been quite some time before, since this happened. Have you been able to establish by now, why the fishermen were actually arrested?
Let me tell you, Betty, the Ugandan police and the Ugandan military forces are camping in Lake Victoria, and they are raiding up to our own beaches at the land. These people have even killed our own policemen. They meet around the beaches. And our government is quiet about it. Our own fishermen who are fishing on Kenyan waters have been forced to eat raw fish, and no government official has talked about it. And to go further, the same yesterday when we complained, policemen were given 6 speedboats to go and protect waters at the coast.
Yes.
And the waters at Lake Victoria are left freely to the Ugandans to roam about the way they want. Was that not sending us a message that even if you're making noise, it's up to you?
Now, how the police stated the charges that they have against the fishermen who are in their custody?
It's very interesting. In fact, what I wanted the Inspector General to tell us, all those Ugandans who are coming up to our territory, how many of them are in police custody in Kenya? Because if we cannot even protect our people being arrested by Ugandans, why are we not arresting Ugandans who are also fishing in our waters?
All right, but have you been able to establish why they were arrested in the first place?
Let us not even waste time waiting for somebody to come up with the investigative reports. I can tell you authoritatively, as the one who is coming from that constituency, and somebody who is, my bathroom is in Lake Victoria, by the way. And I can tell you how the Ugandan soldiers are raiding our territory up to the Kenyan soil, and nobody is talking about it. Those arrests are just, those people can even come up to the Kenyan beaches and arrest our people and carry them away with them. And nobody is talking about it. Our beaches are bare, are not protected. The Ugandans can do anything they want in our beaches.
Right. And as you say that, you know, being the member of parliament and Migingo is in your authority and constituency, what can you say about the police presence from Kenya? You're saying that Uganda police, they're able to access, you know, the island, you know, at free will. But what really is the presence? How can you describe the presence of Kenyan police there?
There is no single speedboat given to policemen in Kenyan waters. There is no directive given to Kenyan policemen to patrol our waters. There is no single patrol unit in Lake Victoria. So when Ugandans are in the lake, they interact with no Kenyan force. When Kenya tried to deploy APs at Migingo Island, it could not work because you take APs to Migingo Island, you take around 4 APs to Migingo Island, Uganda will bring over 20 military officers on Migingo Island. What will the 4 APs do? They run away.
And this really is not the first time that we're seeing Ugandan police coming in to quote-unquote harass, you know, Kenyan citizens. Why do they do this repeatedly?
The reason why these people are doing this, the Kenyan government is quiet about their boundary. The Kenyan government has not made even a single step to try to protect their boundary. We don't know whether it's because we are from Nyanza. We don't know whether the Kenyan government is not interested in anything, because as we are talking today, the flag of Uganda is there at Migingo Island, which is right inside Kenya. And when you can see another country's flag in your constituency, it symbolizes what? It's power and the colony. Those people have colonized us. And our government is quiet. So this is the reason why we are saying, if this government is tired of us, we cannot force ourselves to be in a unity which is not benefiting our people.
Right. Honorable member, back in May, when, you know, we were having the registration of voters, back in May, we saw the IBC officials being scattered away. They were sent away. You know, there was no registration that happened there. Subsequently, did we see any voting in Migingo Island?
Those people who are supposed to vote in Migingo Island were forced to come and vote at Mugabo Beach, because the Ugandan soldiers were not ready to allow our own poll officers to set the foot on Migingo Island. That's why those who were at the Migingo and were busy fishing were not able to come and vote down here. But we managed to get around 17 voters. Right.
Interesting. And, you know, being a member of parliament, what action are you going to be taking? I know you gave the government an ultimatum, but what if there's still inaction from their end? As the member of parliament, what is the thing that you'll be doing to ensure that this impasse actually comes to a close once and for all? Because we've seen this issue coming up, you know, many, many times.
We have very clear options. We know the kind of tax the government is getting from that lake. You cannot continue taxing people when you are not protecting them. The first move, I'll tell my people not to stop paying tax. And push those fisheries and the tax collectors out of that constituency. They leave us alone because they are not helping us. You collect tax, and these same people, I'm telling you, if you can meet, I would beg your studio or your media house to send some reporters down there and interview those fishermen who have come and encountered the Uganda forces in the lake. It's brutal, and if they come across you, you'll never set foot on the lake again because you'll miss death by a whisker.
All right, speaking about the brutality meted against...
I can say about the...
Yes, please proceed.
What I can tell you about our relationship with this government, it will depend on how they protect us, because we are also Kenyans, we are paying tax, and the big question which we want the government to answer, we as the people of Nyatike, why are we not complaining about Tanzania? Because we have the biggest boundary we have with Tanzania, both in the land and in the lake, and we are not complaining about Tanzania. Why only Uganda? And when you go to parliament, the parliament moved and even forced the government to form a task force with the Ugandan government. That report has not seen the light of the day up to today, and nobody's talking about it. Today, if you set foot in Uganda, Museveni will talk. But the Ugandan are setting foot in Kenya, and our president is quiet. What message are they sending to us?
All right, and speaking about the injustice that you say is being meted on the residents of Migingo, we also understand that, the fishermen there have been using illegal fishing equipment there. Is there anything you know about this, and what can you tell us about that?
Okay, now let me ask you, Betty. If they are using illegal means, we have the Kenyan authority to check on that. Not Uganda authority to come and check on us. Why not Kenyan authority checking on those illegalities? Why do they allow Uganda to come and check on their own territory? Yeah, it's something which the Inspector General should come out very clearly. You cannot talk of illegalities, and you are not having your own people to go and check on those things. Then you expect Uganda to come and control it for you.
All right. Well, I guess it's a good place to end there. We have been speaking to Tom Odege, who's the Nyatike Member of Parliament, talking to us about the predicaments and the issues surrounding the Migingo Island. Like I mentioned before, we have about 22 fishermen who were arrested by Ugandan officials. That's a big story, and one that we'll keep focusing on here on KTN News. But for now, we want to take a break, but we're coming back to continue with our coverage. Don't go away.